We need to call the meeting to order, please. Thank you. Actions taken in closed session. Clerk, Trustee Prendergast.
Yes, we had 3 actions taken in closed session. Regarding claim number 676719, on a 5-0 vote, the board took action in closed session to issue a notice of rejection of claim pursuant to Government Code Section 913. The governing board further authorizes the Vice Chancellor, Business Services, or her designee to issue any appropriate notices. On a 5-0 vote, the board took action in closed session to deny a student's appeal of administrative determination of race-based discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. And action number 3, on a 5-0 vote, the board took action in closed session to release a classified administrator pursuant to Education Code Section 72411.5 and has authorized the Chancellor or designee to take all steps necessary to effect the decision. Those are all the reports.
Okay, at this time, we will have the invocation led by Trustee Prendergast and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Dack.
So it's been a trying time the last week with some prominent celebrities leaving us. Obviously, the legacy left behind by Dolly Parton and the works of Tim Curry just were, shocking to many people. But I think what has gotten lost, as they come in threes, prior to that, the loss of Hayden Panettiere brings us back to remembering how important it is to support our students, our staff, administrators, anyone we can who are struggling with mental health issues, and to make sure we are very clear and very loud in our voices that we are here for you. Caring Campus is not just a platitude. We do care, and we want everyone to be known to be cared for. And I think we should just all remember to listen and be aware if you hear or you know anyone who's struggling with mental health issues, to be there for them. Thank you.
If you would join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there public comments? Okay, I would like to remind the person that public comments are to be 2 minutes or less, and that the board is not allowed to answer or respond at this time, but we listen, and sometimes it will come back up later in a different way, but we don't respond right after you give it. Thank you.
Professor Carmen Mara Hernandez Bravo.
Good afternoon, everyone, Chancellor, Board of Trustees, colleagues. I hope you have a fabulous summer. I am here today to congratulate you from 6.2 in the name of the Latina Hispanic community. Thank you so much for having a month dedicated to us in film, in literature, in music, in everything. We will let you know all the activities we are having during this month, another month. So thank you so much for the resolution, Hispanic Heritage Month. Also, I would like to invite all of you. We have a film class. It is a volunteer class for everyone in the district, IVC, and Sarba College. So we teach the class on Thursday. We provide the textbook, we provide the links to the films, and the film we are going to see now is going to be Even the Rain, that deals with what Cristobal Colon did to the indigenous peoples in the Americas. So you are all invited. It's going to be in September 10th is the first day. No registration required, free books, free links to the film in CC 212. And I want to thank Karima because she is the one who does the advertising, and also she got me a room. You are all invited. I hope you come to my films every Thursday at 12 o'clock until 1:30. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's now time for oral reports, and again, 2 minutes maximum. We'll start with the Board of Trustees. Trustee Milchiker.
Thanks so much. Thanks to an invitation from Saddleback professors Larry Perez and Lisa Silvera, I had the opportunity this summer to visit their College for Kids electrical engineering class, and I just loved being there. They secured a generous donation from the Orange County Post of the Society of American Military Engineers, and because of this, 8th and 9th grade students were able to take this wonderful summer engineering course for absolutely free. They didn't pay a penny for it, completely free of charge. Students just didn't learn about engineering, they actually did engineering. They built and tested electronic circuits, experimented, solved problems, and discovered what they could accomplish. Programs like this can spark an interest that leads to a college major and maybe even a career in STEM. Professor Perez is also the lead advisor, along with physics professor Nick Timmons, for the Saddleback's Remarkable Rocketry Club, with Professor Silvera serving as a faculty member, the faculty mentor. Their first rocket, Argo, it was incredible to see this, and you can see the video, completed 3 successful flights, reaching nearly 8,000 feet and 615 miles per hour. New students, now the students are building the Barracuda. They named it the Barracuda, a supersonic rocket designed to reach approximately 1,000 miles per hour and up to 20,000 feet. So if you can't be there to watch the video. Many of you know how much I love this kind of hands-on science. I was privileged to serve as a volunteer science advisor for the Saddleback Mars rover team, and I saw firsthand how these experiences can really change the lives of students and what they can do for students. I hope we continue to build and support programs like this, like our College for Kids, the Rocketry Club, the Mars rover team. They give students confidence, teamwork, and leadership skills, and sometimes even launch their futures. Thanks.
Thank you. Trustee Bartlett.
Thank you, Madam President. So since our last board meeting, I've had the pleasure of attending some events. August 10th, the Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College, the wonderful president's opening remarks, which were really interesting and informative, and we look forward to great things in the future. August 12th, Board Policy Committee. August 27th, the Saddleback College Foundation Board Retreat and Meeting. And I wanted to highlight the really excellent presentations that were made at the Saddleback College Foundation Retreat from our Saddleback College Vice Presidents, Dr. Jennifer LaBounty, Rod Garcia, and Tramvo Kumamoto. They spoke about all of the innovative ways the college is implementing new programs and enhancing curriculum in real time to engage students with relevant classes and support services which benefit students right now, cutting out all of the red tape to provide students with meaningful and immediate outcomes to support student success. And they really exemplify why our colleges are ranked right up at the very top in California. So thank you, and hopefully we can have that same presentation to all of the trustees, because I was blown away by everything that we're doing. It's really incredible. And that concludes my board comments.
Thank you. Trustee Dack.
Didn't do much this month, but I did want to share that I was at the Orange County State of the County, put on by the Newport Beach Chamber of Commerce, and that was a great event. It's always interesting to hear about what's going on in this county of ours. All right, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Prendergast.
Okay. It's been a while since I've been here. I'm glad to be back. Things that I've done in between board meetings. I was at the Saddleback Foundation kickoff event. Got to take part in the dunk tank. Not sure if there's official number, but I feel like I raised a lot of money. We'll see. And then President's opening sessions, was able to attend both those, and the Faculty Association luncheon. Thank you for inviting us to those. It was always informative, and the faculty took it easy on us. It was nice. So, and then I did want to share an event I happened to be at, and hopefully we can get a part of it if we're not already. I didn't see us there, but over the summer there was a robotics submarine event at Woolard Aquatic Center where autonomous submarines have to go through a course, and it was competitors from all over the world, and it was fascinating. I've seen a lot of robotics events in gyms and things like that, but to see them underwater was really amazing. So I have brochures if anyone was interested in seeing if we can get involved with that in the future. Trustee Dack and I attended the Orange County School Board Association meeting on Wednesday. We're contemplating nominating someone that we know for an award that we have to clarify some things with Letitia's office, and then we might put something together. Stay tuned on that one. And that's all I have.
Thank you. I'll make mine short. We have a lot to do this evening. What I wanted to do particularly is to thank the speech and debate team for inviting me to their showcase. As you know, that was one of my very favorite things to be in charge of at a number of different places, and it was just excellent. It brought back terrific memories. And speaking of championship debaters, I want to do a shout out to our student trustee, Eric Shen. He and I went to the student trustee workshop in Burlingame and did a presentation, and we said that we didn't think they really wanted to sit and listen to people talk all the time. So we had them moving around and learning things and mock interviewing, and the whole thing was about how to do how to talk to a legislator. So why do you want to do that? How would you do it? How do you research about what committees they're on, or all that sort of thing. And so we went all the way through, and we even talked about how to do a persuasive presentation. And I did ethos, which is credibility, and pathos, which is emotional, and we allowed our championship debater to do the logos. So the whole thing was well received, and it was really a lot of fun. So I wanted to shout out him. We've got a winner trustee, and speaking of that, it's your turn to talk.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to also try to keep my report short, though there's a lot to get through. Obviously, the CCLC Student Trustee Open Forum. Thank you so much, Trustee Inman, for this for a very rare opportunity to give a presentation, especially my first year as a student trustee. Also want to thank Letitia Clark's team as well for getting us there with the presentation, and then for my Student Trustee Open Forum as well. The event was great. I use it as a good opportunity to network, especially with the 3 other districts in Orange County. Their student trustees and I are hoping to get together for a meeting in I believe about a week now, which is crazy. Furthermore, again, thank you again to Letitia Clark's team, but as well as ASIVC and ASG for giving me a chance to revitalize the Student Trustee Open Forum, which was an amazing opportunity for me to be out there with both student governments and talk to students who have no idea what the Board of Trustees does and get some great perspective. I'm probably going to give a written report soon about what happened because it was a lot, but I can say that students really want to see some cross-district collaboration between the colleges as well as better transportation. And furthermore, I also had a great chance to come back yesterday from the ASIVC retreat in Lake Arrowhead. There, I got a great chance to meet not just the officers of ASIVC, but also to work with them to devise ideas that can, again, do cross-district collaboration, but then also what's happening amongst the committees in ASIVC. A good idea that we thought of was a district-wide shuttle system between all 3 campuses. Furthermore, I also had a great chance. Also, am super thankful towards both college presidents for allowing me to go to both open sessions. They were amazing. I loved the piano performance at Saddlebacks, and the state of the college at IVC was truly beautiful with what we're doing so far with Inspire 2035. Furthermore, I had a great chance to go to Laser Day as well with ASIVC, and got a great chance to be the opening speaker on behalf of the board for Become a Bobcat Day, Saddlebacks Welcoming Day. So, thank you so much for your time. That's the end of my oral report.
Thank you very much. Associated Students, Saddleback College, Noah Aguilar.
It worked. Hello, my wonderful board. So good to see you all again. As you know, the semester has just begun as of last week. To begin our year, ASG hosted our first movie night, watching 10 Things I Hate About You with free pizza and beverages with our wonderful, amazing student trustee, Eric Shin, there present to help hand out food. It was a fun night. It was a wonderful experience and a great way to start off the year. Aside from this, ASG has been in the process of hiring our new officers for the 2026 to 2027 academic year and is close to near full capacity with 70 members already hired and working away. I also wanted to mention that Saddleback's amazing accomplishment of being ranked #1 in California and then #5 across the nation. It's just a showcase of our world-class faculty and the amazing students that we have here. Lastly, with the year wrapping up, we are currently working on planning another car meet in October, hopefully, and have been outlining what conferences ASG will be attending this year. That is all for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Luka Krezovic, IVC.
Hello, Board of Trustees and Chancellor Barnes. I am delighted to say that ASIVC has been hitting the ground running as we enter the fall semester. Our committees have officially begun meeting in proper capacity and been doing their things accordingly. And we have just came back from the retreat, as student trustee Eric Shin has said, and we had a really great time to build a team and a community and just establish goals internally, but also how to further inspire 2035 externally as well. Additionally, we're fresh off the conclusion of a welcome week, which one of those events was the Student Trustee Forum. That was a really successful event and allowed ASIVC and our student trustee alike to connect with the student body. And we're also delighted to announce that our ASIVC Ambassador application, a new program that we're installing that installs 12 more members of our student government via an appointment system, had its application close on Friday for 12 spots. And with those 12 spots, we got a whopping 131 applications sent in to be a part of our student government. Our club day is this Wednesday from 11 to 2 on September 2nd, and this is a really big event for us where we're going to have the heart of our student life, our clubs, being able to pitch and recruit new members for the upcoming year. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Saddleback College Academic Senate, Frank Gonzalez.
Thank you, Board of Trustees. I just wanted to start off by thanking our Flex Coordinator and past President Dan Walsh for putting together a wonderful Flex Week, and also to President Cordova for her very humanizing opener that she had. I think all of us at the college really appreciated it. We've only had one Academic Senate meeting thus far. That was on August 19th. That being said, I'd like to open invitation if anybody ever wants to come to an Academic Senate meeting. Those are the first and third Wednesday of the month from 2 to 4. That schedule and the agenda are also on our website. So it's an open meeting and you are more than welcome to come. But it's looking like it's going to be a busy year as always. I'm being in this position now for the first time. I'm having a great appreciation for the work and how challenging it can be to all those past presidents and current presidents there, like Rebecca. But things that have been on our agenda and will continue to be is AI, not only how it affects teaching and learning, but also the academic integrity piece. And I'm happy to hear that the administration at Saddleback appreciates the concern that the faculty have brought forward about that. The Title II updates that are coming up, and thank you to Kim D'Arcy and Kim Stankovich and Jenny Rodriguez for bringing forth a ton of resources and professional development for our faculty. This year, our Senate is looking to establish or is actively establishing goals. Currently, our faculty hiring prioritization process is underway. We have a strategic enrollment management team, so it's a very busy time, and that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Irvine Valley College Academic Senate, Rebecca Beck.
Thank you. Good evening, board members and colleagues. It's great to be back. And as we begin this new academic year, I think it's great to remember that the ultimate goal of all the work that you do, that we do, is for the student experience. So I'm happy to have an opportunity to get going on that. And as we begin the year, I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an update on two items that is work our faculty is doing that is outside of the classroom. And the first one is the work that, like our Saddleback colleagues, we're doing with the Strategic Enrollment Management, the SEM program, which may have been in your radar. At IVC, we're in year 2, and we're still working with adult learners. And through that project, faculty have been deeply engaged in work around better serving adult learners, including looking at our curriculum, expanding opportunities for credit for prior learning, developing more responsive pathways, and thinking more differently about how we serve our adult learners so that our institution cannot just simply say that we enroll adult learners, but that we serve them. So that is one project underway with lots of faculty support. And the other one is Inspire 2035, which I think you may have heard about that, right? And so this has been a great opportunity for the faculty to remain really connected to the strategic plan. And it's not just a plan on the shelf. I've been in this district for 15 years, and this is the first opportunity that I've seen where the faculty are really committed at doing. Well, let me take that back. We've always been committed at doing the strategic plan, but it's always something that we've seen like a secondary thing. But now it's here. We're all embedded in the work, either through the work of OER, artificial intelligence, and other ways in which the faculty expertise continue to inform the development of the plan. Thank you for letting me go over time.
Thank you. Faculty Association, Deanna Scherger.
Good evening, everyone. So we did have our all-faculty meeting as part of Flex Week, and I want to thank Trustee Milchiker and Trustee Pendergast for joining us for lunch. We had a great turnout, and I always think it's one of my favorite events because it's one of the few times that we get Saddleback and IVC faculty together, and we get to learn more about the work that we're doing across the district. So that was great. I also wanted to thank the payroll and HR departments for their work over the last year, finding ways to respond to the challenges of Banner regarding payroll. We've had a lot of meetings during that time, and we sincerely appreciate the willingness of folks to hear our concerns, and we appreciate the progress that's been made in terms of educating faculty and adjusting processes to help ensure faculty are paid in a timely and transparent manner. And then finally, as we embark on a new round of negotiations, I want to give a shout out to Robert Melendez, who will be our chief negotiator, and thank all the faculty on our team, and also to thank Vice Chancellor Viskachil and the folks on her team. It takes a lot of patience and problem solving as we try to work with the faculty contract, and we appreciate the opportunity for collegial discussion as we consider our needs moving forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Irvine Valley College Classified Senate, Brianna Bell.
Good evening, Chancellor Barnes and members of the Board of Trustees. Rebecca's comment about our ultimate goal being here for students ties really well into kind of the shout out I wanted to do for two classified professionals specifically. I want to thank Elisa Green and Jessica Rojas with the Vice President for the Student Services Office, who did so much work organizing the welcome booths for students in the first week of school. And thanking our classified professionals who also participated in those welcome booths, who are just there as a friendly face to welcome students to campus. IVC just went through a signage project, and all of our building numbers have changed, room numbers have changed, and I've been there for 3 years and I'm lost. So I can only imagine students who are returning their second year, they have no idea where their classroom is now. So it was a good opportunity for all of us to practice that caring campus culture and help students and help each other locate new things. So I thought it was a really great opportunity for all those things. I also wanted to mention we had our first Classified Senate General Assembly on August 14th. Really good turnout, and I wanted to thank President Hernandez for attending with us. It's really good to see our president show up and support classified. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Saddleback College Classified Senate V. Zuharay.
Good evening, trustees and Chancellor Barnes. I would like to take this opportunity to share how honored I am to be a classified professional. During these first couple weeks of fall of 2026, I've witnessed classified professionals showing up for one another and, most importantly, for our students with smiles on their faces and genuine eagerness to help whenever they're needed. Beyond our primary responsibilities, classified professionals continue to make time to support broader campus initiatives such as becoming a Bobcat and staffing the welcome tents during the first weeks of the semester. These efforts truly demonstrate the dedication, commitment, and care of our classified professionals that bring our that our classified professional bring to our campus community every day. I would also like to take a moment to recognize and thank my amazing executive board for the 26-27 academic year. Marco Benavides, Erlyn Ballo, Chantel Gill, Angie Valiz, Georgina Martinez, Riley Phelps, Donna Nguyen, Noel Chow, Victor Valadez, Maddie Hernandez, and Deanna Ramos. We're all looking forward to welcoming President Cordova at our first general meeting that is on September 23rd at 11:30 to 1 p.m. So this is your invite if anybody wants to join us to welcome another great academic year together. Thank you for your time and continued support and for recognizing the important contributions of classified professionals to our campus community.
Thank you. California School Employees Association, Desiree Ortiz.
Thank you so much and good evening. There's going to be the theme here, just FYI. As we begin a fresh fall semester, I want to take a moment to sincerely thank each of you for your continued support of our classified professionals. Every day I see our classified colleagues taking on more within their roles while balancing the many responsibilities of both their professional and personal lives. Many are also continuing their educational journeys and investing in themselves, which is growth that ultimately strengthens the support they provide to our students, our colleges, our district, and the broader California community college system. I'm incredibly proud to lead and represent some of the very best classified professionals in the state. Their commitment, resilience, knowledge, and compassion make a meaningful difference across our campuses and district each day. As we enter another fall semester and another negotiation year, thank you for recognizing and supporting all that the classified professionals do. Most importantly, thank you for seeing the tremendous value they bring to our institutions and to the essential role they play advancing the lives and success of our students. Our classified professionals show up every day with care, dedication, and genuine love for the students we serve. Their work matters, and their impact is felt throughout our college and our district. I want to wish everyone a successful, meaningful, and inspiring fall semester. Thank you.
Thank you. The last report is from the Police Officers Association, and I want to point out this beautiful challenge coin that we have received. This is the 50th anniversary of the Saddleback College Police Department. And having relatives in law enforcement, I know that this is an extremely important and meaningful gift. Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you. Good evening, Chancellor Barnes and trustees. Yeah, the POA we reached 50 years of service this year. From our members, thank you for allowing us, and supporting our mission to keep the school safe, and mainly to keep a safe learning environment. We feel like, this is our home, and we're glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are now at number 5. We are now at the board agenda, item 5.1, SOCCCD, public hearing for the certification and approval of the environmental initial study addendum, the CEQA document, approval of the site plan and design documents for submission to the City of Tustin, and approval of the ground lease with Top 10 Land Holdings, LLC, for the Top Tennis Academy project at ATEP. Before we have the public hearings, Vice Chancellor Anne Marie Gable will provide an introduction.
Thank you, President Inman. Before we have the agenda item allows the public to provide the board with comments and input before the board considers approval of 1, the Top Tennis Academy project at ATEP CEQA environmental initial study / addendum. 2, the site plan and design documents for submission to the City of Tustin. And lastly, the ground lease with Top Tennis Land Holdings LLC. There are 3 additional board items that relate to this public hearing, items 5.2, 5.3, and 5.4. If you have any questions throughout the public hearing process this evening, both Madhani Ephraim and I are here to assist.
Okay, board item 5.1, public hearing on the matter at hand is now open. Are there comments? Wait a minute. Okay, this will be public testimony. Comments are not to exceed 2 minutes. Are there any? Okay, excuse me. Does the board have any questions to staff or our consultants to assist with their understanding of this matter? Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Chancellor Barnes, does the staff have any responses to the public comments or other ideas, including written comments received prior or during the meeting?
Yes, we are in receipt of a letter from the mayor of the city of Tustin on the evening of Saturday, August 29th, 2026, in advance of this public hearing regarding this project and the development agreement. The letter has been made available at the counter outside for public review, and we appreciate the city's continued engagement and interest in the project. We absolutely value the city of Tustin as a partner on this and many other projects, and remain committed to working collaboratively moving forward. Consistent with the requirements of the development agreement, or the DA, the district submitted the leasing approval package to the city on January 3rd, 2025, and the city approved the package on January 28th, 2025. Accordingly, the city has been aware of and approved the proposed tenant and lease arrangement since January of 2025. And since the city's approval at that time, the district and city have had numerous opportunities to engage on matters related to ATEP and the continued implementation of the development agreement, and we look forward to continuing that collaborative engagement as the project moves forward. We have asked the district's counsel, Elizabeth Hall from Jackson Titus, to clarify a few points from the letter for the record. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Elizabeth Hall.
Very good. Thank you, Chancellor Barnes. The Tustin specific plan and the development agreement, or DA, between the city and the district authorize educationally oriented uses on the ATEP site, as well as certain non-educational commercial uses. The DA defines educationally oriented uses broadly as uses that are education-oriented, including all facilities normally found on college campuses. These types of educational uses are called Category 1 uses under the DA. The project proponent, Top Tennis, is a tennis academy, and the entirety of the proposed uses, including the learning center, the student housing, and the courts that are directly connected to the academy's training and learning, are permitted educationally oriented Category 1 uses. The entirety of the uses are very clearly authorized under the DA as Category 1, since college campuses often have sports facilities on site, such as courts. However, similar to covered parking, we agree that Top Tennis courts are not currently considered building area under the DA, which is a defined term that calculates the total horizontal floor area of all floors of buildings on the ATEP site. That means that the courts do not count currently towards the amount of educational uses required on site before development of non-educational Category 2 uses, commercial uses at the ATEP site. So again, the entirety of the proposed project is for educationally oriented Category 1 permitted uses under the DA and the Tustin specific plan. The city in this letter also raised the use of the courts for tournaments. Top Tennis, as a tennis academy, may hold these types of events on the campus, similar to other campuses that hold sporting events in pools, on fields, and other sports facilities. The tenant has represented to us that they anticipate tournaments to occur approximately 1 to 2 times a year, and that the tournaments are for top tennis students to compete against one another and against competitors from outside the program. Therefore, holding tournaments on the courts does not change the use of those facilities. However, even if the courts were to be rented out to non-students for tournaments, the courts would still be permitted education-oriented facilities, as college campuses occasionally rent out facilities to support the overall campus and the district's needs. In fact, the DA specifically states, and I quote, "It is understood that educational institutions regularly agree to permit other entities to use facilities primarily devoted to education from time to time in exchange for payment of other consideration. Such arrangements shall not affect the character of the building area involved as land use category 1. Again, the top tennis has confirmed that the tournaments are for students, but if the tenant proposed otherwise, that would still be a permitted use under the development agreement and the Tustin specific plan. We will be providing a more formal written response to the city's letter following this meeting, but we appreciate the opportunity to address a few key issues on the record tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on this matter by board members?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I just want to thank Councilor Hall and Chancellor Barnes for explaining this and for clarifying this very important issue. We're delighted to have Top Tennis be a part of our ATEP educational facility, a private partner usage for education and other uses. I want to say that it's been, we know, I'm pleased that it's an educational facility, and that's the way it's been characterized for many years. And not only that, the Top Tennis in the agreement, I read the whole agreement, which is quite a long agreement. Top Tennis has actually agreed to support educational programs at the college, such as sponsorship of our college events, scholarships, and educational support to landlord students, such as hiring of our own students. So I'm very excited about the prospect of Top Tennis joining our ATEP campus. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Prendergast?
I don't know who this would be directed toward, who wants to answer it, but she brought up a very important point about the outdoor educational space. So everyone's hopefully now very clear of my desire to get a pool. It's not a joke that we want this to happen at some point for the use of potentially having IVC having an aquatics program. And maybe there's not room on their site, but maybe we could entertain some joint use with international governing body like USA Water Polo or USA Swimming or USA Diving, for all that matter, to then have maybe some sort of an aquatic facility at ATEP that IVC could then use because proximity-wise isn't that far. At what point did we agree that outdoor space can't be educational? I mean, I'm a swim coach. I educate all day in an outdoor facility. And I get that's what the DA says. And I know that we've made moves to try and get the DA amended to include those spaces. I'm trying to figure out why that's such a hard grasp. Like, it's not unreasonable to consider outdoor sand volleyball courts as educational or soccer field as educational. I'm having a hard time grasping that as even how did that ever become a part of the DA in the first place to them where now we have to try and ask for an amendment to it and why that amendment is apparently not open to discussion because it seems pretty much a slam dunk to me as an outdoor educational individual.
So I can't address how it occurred because the development agreement was issued in 2015, and I don't think there's anybody here that was here in 2015 that was a party to that agreement. But what, the development agreement is very clear on educational uses and anything educationally related that you would find on a normal college campus. So from that aspect, I would say outdoor fields, outdoor swimming pools, outdoor sand volleyball courts would be considered an educational use. Where the complexity comes into play is when we are looking at the entitlements that we have for building. The development agreement only gives us entitlements based upon the building area or the building square footage. So we don't get any entitlements whatsoever for anything that doesn't constitute a building. And I think that's where the differentiation is. I mean, we have, built a parking lot. Well, that is, you find those all over educational and college spaces. I would consider our parking lot an educational use because it's tied to the college and we're required to have a parking lot. But we don't get, and I'm going to put credit in quotes because it's not a building. So I think that's really where the concerns have come into play is what do we consider a building area and what are we going to be providing to the city as the amount of building space that is going into ATEP. Does that answer your question?
I get, to be fair, I honestly would not consider a parking lot as educational because no education is happening on it unless you're teaching a driving class. But when it comes to fields and pools and courts, that is educational unless you're just opening them up for people to just come play, which is not what is happening here, right? And so I was around in 2015. I don't remember the conversation in open or closed session about what the DA had and didn't have in it. And I'm pretty sure if someone had said, we don't get to count pools as educational space, I probably would have said something. But that being said, knowing that we could be moving down the line with more educational spaces, knowing that there's this limitation is concerning. That's all I'm saying.
Would any member of the board like to comment that hasn't already? Okay. 5.1 is concluded. We will now move to item 5.2, the board's approval of resolution number 26-19, which certifies and approves the CEQA Environmental Initial Study Addendum for the project, ratifies and adopts the mitigation measures, and directs staff to timely file a notice of determination with the Orange County Clerk and State Clearinghouse. We would need a motion for that.
So moved. Or second.
It has been moved by
Trustee
Milchiker and seconded by Trustee Dack. We can now vote. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote with student trustee Shin also voting yes on this. Okay, thank you. We will now move to item 5.3, the board's approval of resolution number 26-20, which approves the project site plan and design documents and submittal of the site plan and design application to the City of Tustin and authorizes and directs staff to implement the project. We now need a motion and second.
So moved.
Second. It has been moved by Trustee Dack and seconded by student trustee Shin. We can now vote. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote, with student trustee also voting yes. We will now move to item 5.4, the board's approval of resolution number 26-21, which approves the ground lease with Top Tennis Land Holdings LLC and authorizes the chancellor or vice chancellor to sign and implement the project documents. We now need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by trustee Prendergast and seconded by trustee Dack. We can now vote. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote, with student trustee Shin voting yes as well. Okay. We are now at board agenda item 5.6 to conduct a public hearing on the proposed budget of the district for 26-27.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
5.5.
I'm sorry.
5.5, not 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. 5.5. Thank you. Before we have that public hearing, Vice Chancellor Anne Marie Gable will provide an introduction.
Thank you, President Inman. The agenda item pertains to a public hearing for the adopted budget for 26-27 as required by the California Code of Regulations, Title V, Section 58301. The public hearing was noticed in the Orange County Register and posted on the district's website. The budget document has been available for public inspection in the district office lobby and on the website. This hearing provides the public an opportunity to comment on the budget before it is adopted.
Board item 5.5, public hearing on the matter at hand, is now open. Is there any public comments? Okay. Vice Chancellor Gable, does the staff have any responses to public comments or any written comments you might have received?
No, we received no written comments.
Okay. The public hearing is now closed. Okay. Is there any further discussion on the matter by the Board of Trustees? Okay. Number 5.5 is now concluded. We now move to 5.6, approval and adopted budget for the fiscal year 26 and 27. Call for a motion and second.
So move. Second.
It has been moved by trustee Milchiker and seconded by trustee Bartlett. All I could think of was Lisa. Sorry.
Point of order. Don't
Yes.
get the presentation before
I know.
we do a motion and second.
I know. I must have missed it. I'm sorry. We do have a presentation. Let's go backwards to that, please. And then we'll do the voting
Move
thing.
and second a budget we haven't seen.
Right.
Where's the trust?
All right, and it's my pleasure to introduce our Executive Director of Fiscal Services, Ms. Connie Kavanaugh, who will be doing the presentation for us tonight. And before she gets started, I just want to thank her as well as her staff, Jackie Hahn, Alicia Cuevas, and all of the Fiscal Services staff, plus both of the Vice Presidents of Administrative Services, Rod Garcia and Davit Kachatrian, for all of their work. It was a fun year in closing and budget process. I'll just leave it at that. So a lot of hard work and dedication went into it. So with that, Connie, please.
I just want to second that. This is a huge team effort, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes. I just get to be the face here tonight, but we made it. So without further ado, I feel like I need to put this to music or something because it's like the same stuff all the time, but here we go. So this is just wanted to share again the board's budget philosophy. We look at this each year, and each time we bring the budget forward to you to just sort of our philosophy we're utilizing as we develop the budget. I'm not going to read all the lines for you. Again, this is just the budget development guidelines that were adopted by the board back in January. And again, this is what we follow as we're developing the budget, similar, or they're the same as they were at tentative, and adopted budget's really just finalizing that tentative budget we saw back in June. This is a very high-level summary of all of our funds, and these are the year-end balances. So first, we close the books so that we have all our ending fund balances to move forward and incorporate into our budget. The very top line there in bold is the unrestricted general fund. That's really what we call our operating funds. That's where the lion's share of the expenses that we utilize to run the district, pay all of our team, belongs. So for 25-26, we ended the fiscal year. This is really sad. I can't see that number on the screen. Let me flip to my page here. I'm getting older. We ended the fiscal year with $139.6 million in ending fund balance. We started the year with $131.5 million. So this just outlines that. So there was a slight surplus last year. There's a lot of one-time funds that were generated during the year that ends up in sometimes accumulating in ending reserves. I'm not going to read all those line items. The total there at the bottom for all funds, we had total revenues of $733.4 million, total expenditures of $711.1 million, with the total ending fund balance of $761 million. So the revenue assumptions that we utilize when we're developing the budget, again, these are very similar to tentative budget. The student-centered funding formula, that's part of our DRAC model. We utilize the 4.31% COLA, which is the 2.87% statutory COLA, and we did get that 1.44 discretionary enhancement that's targeted towards us implementing some additional leave provisions related to pregnancy leave. I'm looking at Cindy, I believe that's what it was, pregnancy leave. And we did receive growth funding of 0.35%, or planning to receive in the budget. We budgeted our secured property taxes with an increase of 5.4%. So typically we have been budgeting 4%, but over the last several years, we're realizing a lot with the dissolution of a lot of the redevelopment agencies, that then goes to an increase in our tax base. And so we have seen a higher than normal. So we did slightly increase that. I think this is still a very conservative estimate at the 5.4%, but that is greater than we've seen in the past. Our basic aid allocation this year is $131.2 million, and our carryover after we closed out, and we had previously, approved those allocations back in April, we have a whopping $26,000 that's left over that will carry over to next year. Our unrestricted lottery revenue, we're estimating approximately $6 million, and we receive $190 per FTES. EPA, similar again to tentative budget, $2.8 million, and that's funded at $100 per FTES. And just as a reminder, we budget our EPA funds that we receive on instructional part-time faculty salaries and benefits. We are estimating interest income at $12 million. Again, that number has come in quite a bit higher over the past few years, but to be conservative, we still are sticking with $12 million in case there's a downturn in interest rates at the county treasury. Our ground lease revenue, we're estimating at $5.7 million, and that's incorporating the apartments here just adjacent to Saddleback, and then properties we have at the ATEP, the Goddard School, the County of Orange, and Advantech. So for our DRAC model, this again is just a very high level overview of the DRAC model. Our SCFF projections are $248.4 million. We have district-wide, local, and state revenue. So the total ongoing funds with all three of those combined is $285.4 million. We do a distribution of one-time funds and the prior year contingency. So the total DRAC allocation is $309.7 million. And then in addition to that, we have other unrestricted funds that are allocated or generated at the site levels, which includes non-resident tuition, other site local revenues they receive for facility usage and other things like that. And then we have our PST transfer that comes from our pension stabilization trust, and that's budgeted at just under $18 million this year. So the total sources of funds on the unrestricted budget is just under $343.6 million. And of course, we budget again for any of the location ending balances we had. So the Total available funds within the unrestricted general fund is that $415.8 million. Sorry, I go really fast, so I know you'll have a chance for questions, but don't be afraid to stop me either. So now that we've talked about our revenues, we're going to look at our expenditure assumptions. We have budgeted salaries based on our existing negotiated salary schedules, including any newly added positions. We adjust for everyone's movement on the salary schedule for their step and columns. And for the PERS and STIRS rates, these are the rates set at the state level. STIRS is statutory at the 19.1. Our PERS rate did go down slightly from last year. We saw that a tentative budget as well as to 26.4%. Our health and welfare benefits came in a little lower than we had projected at tentative, so there's a 7.4% increase. The unemployment rate stays the same at 0.05%. Workers' comp did go up 0.1% from last year, so it's budgeted at 1.26%. And our property and liability insurance is budgeted at $3.7 million. Reserves, our favorite topic. So our reserve for economic uncertainties is $56.4 million, and that's made up of several different sources. 7.5% of our unrestricted revenues, so that's calculated in the DRAC model. It's $22.5 million. By board policy, we are required to set aside a minimum of 3.5% of our unrestricted expenditures at the site level. So each of the colleges, as well as district services, set aside that 3.5%, which is just under $11 million. And then our reserve for basic aid, which is based on 20% that we set aside for potential unrealized tax collections, and adding in the whopping $26,000 puts us to the just under $23 million. And just as a reminder, per board policy, we're recommended to maintain at least the equivalent of 2 months of operating expenses to meet the ECA requirement that we adopted several years back. So this reserve meets that minimum. This is the waterfall of money, I like to say, sort of all the buckets. So this is just kind of showing in a pictorial way where all of our funds come from and which buckets they fall into. So it starts at the top with all of our total revenues, and then it shows, you know, in the middle section, how much goes through the DRAC model, how much is allocated through our basic aid process. And then the middle three pieces there are some of those things we talked about in the DRAC model that are really locally generated and dispersed at a local site level. And then in the very tiny print at the bottom, just breaks down. The DRAC model then is broken out into the components we saw on the DRAC model, the SCFF funding, the state revenue, local revenue, and all those other pieces. And then another pretty picture is this in a chart format. So it shows how much of those pots of money are allocated now at a site level. So for example, Saddleback receives approximately 40% of all those resources, and Irvine's receiving, see, I really need my glasses. This is sad. Sorry. Let me get to the right picture so I can get you the right percentages. Sorry, Saddleback's 46%. Irvine's about 26%. And anyway, I won't read them all out, but it's just showing of that $506 million that we have, how it's dispersed within all of the different locations within the district, within the budget. And this, again, similar to what we saw at the beginning, which were our actuals. This is what the adopted budget looks like in a summary level by fund. Again, the top bold line is our operating budget, the unrestricted general fund. So we're starting with the beginning balance, which was our ending balance from the actuals. And then we have our budgeted revenues and expenditures, and we're proposing an ending balance of $117 million. So that does realize in the budget there is, I hate to use the word deficit, we were planning to spend more money than we're going to bring in. And that's really a measure of the plans that people put in place for resource requests for one-time expenditures to spend down some of those one-time monies that have been received over the last several years through some of the increases we've seen in our SCFF funding. So again, in total, our beginning balance is the $761 million for all funds, and the proposed ending balance is $509 million. So looking forward, what we'll do for the remainder of the year as we plan until we come together next year to look at the budget is we're always monitoring the state economy, the property tax trends, and any changes coming from the federal government as well that could impact our budget. We're always monitoring enrollment and FTES trends and their impacts on our funding related to the SCFF formula. As we heard earlier, we're doing continued efforts with our ATEP prospective tenants. And as we come closer to mid-year, we start looking at our estimates for next year and what funds will be available for our KIC and DTC plans and what funds are available for cash flow to fund those projects and any adjustments necessary to meet those plan needs. And with that, questions?
Okay, are there questions from the board?
No, that's very interesting. I just wanted to say that now we can see that many years ago, the board decided to fight for that landed ATEP because we knew it would be very valuable asset to our district, and now that's coming to fruition. So
Yes.
I'm very proud of that.
That number grows each year.
It's a good number for now and for our future.
Yes.
And also, they're at all the statewide meetings, they're talking about changing the student-centered funding formula, and I know that's only in our district. We only utilize that for the DRAC model to see how much each college gets. So if that formula is redone, changed to a different formula, that will just be used for the DRAC model again. Is that right?
Correct.
To
We
see
do.
which college, how much each college revenue receives.
Yes, we follow the actual state calculation. So if there is an adjustment, for example, this year, they did move that you could utilize the average, the past 3-year average for credit FTS or the prior year, whichever is greater. So they are constantly changing it.
Yeah, they are.
And just as a highlight, some of the growth funding that was funded through the state, we have deferred some of that into the future year because it came in so late in the process. We talked about this at tentative budget, that is something we'll allocate in the 27-28 budget. But that too can change quite a bit as they recalculate those growth funds that are available. So it's sort of an ever-moving target
It is.
that we all have a lot of fun with
They feel
calculating.
that the student-centered funding formula was too hastily put together without a lot of consultation, so that's why they're really looking into
Yes, I'm not sure
revising
there's
it or
been a year
changing it.
there wasn't some type of change, so.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the board?
Eric?
I just quickly wanted to get some clarification and ask how the budget allocation for both student governments have changed and the reasoning for those.
Have changed from tentative budget or?
Yes, from the tentative budget, it says ASIVC budget has decreased while Saddleback ASG has increased to adjust to match the total available resources. And I just wanted to ask the reasoning for
So
that.
the only changes are based on what the actual ending fund balance was. So then we adjust accordingly. So there was an estimated fund balance at tentative budget, and now we have the actual fund balance. The budget in itself is not adjusted arbitrarily. It's just the total available funds that could change based on the ending balance. So one over projected and one under projected. I guess you could look at it that way.
All right. Thank you.
Student trustee Shen, when the two ASG and ASIVC, when they are estimating their ending balances for tentative budget, they're starting to do that in March because it comes to the board in April. So it's very difficult to get the exact number. So it is quite common to see a change from tentative to adopted budget for what the actual ending fund balance is for each of those.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? We already voted. Does that count, or do we do it again? We gotta do it.
We have a motion in a second.
Okay. So we need a motion in a second.
And we have a motion in a second.
Okay. We sort of did already. All right, let's vote. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote, with student trustee also voting yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you. We are now at Board Agenda Item 5.7 to conduct a public hearing on the SOCCCD initial proposal to Faculty Association. Before we have that public hearing, Vice Chancellor Viscachill will provide an introduction.
Thank you, President Inman. The agenda item pertains to a public hearing for the SOCCD district initial proposal to the Faculty Association pursuant to Educational Employment Relations Act, also known as ERA, and in particular Government Code Section 3547 and the parties' collective bargaining agreement. It is intended to provide the public with notice of the topics anticipated to be the subject of collective negotiations for a successor agreement and intended to be effective from July 1st, 2027 through June 30th, 2030.
Okay, Board Item 5.7, public hearing on the matter at hand is now open. Are there any comments from the public? Okay. Vice Chancellor Viscachill, does the staff have any responses to written or oral comments?
No comments have been received.
Okay, thank you. The public hearing is now closed. Is there any further discussion on this matter by the Board of Trustees? Okay, 5.7 is concluded. We now move to 5.8, approval of the adoption of the SOCCCD district initial proposal to Faculty Association. We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Prendergast and seconded by, which one? Milchiker. Trustee Milchiker. Let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote. Thank you. All right. We are now at Board Agenda Item 5.9 to conduct a public hearing on the Faculty Association initial proposal to the district. Before we have that public hearing, Vice Chancellor Viscachill will provide an introduction.
Thank you, President Inman. The agenda item pertains to a public hearing for the Faculty Association's initial proposal to the district pursuant to the Educational Employment Relations Act, ERA, and in particular Government Code Section 3547A and the parties' collective bargaining agreement. It is intended to provide the public with notice of the initial proposal to amend and modify the SOCCD Employee Collective Bargaining Agreement.
Board Item 5.9, public hearing on the matter at hand is now open. Are there any public comments? Okay. Vice Chancellor Viscachill, does the staff have any responses to written or public comments?
There have been no written or public comments. Thank you.
Okay. The public hearing is now closed. Is there any further discussion on this matter from the Board of Trustees? Okay, 5.9 is concluded. We now move, wait, did we vote? We didn't vote. Okay, it's down here. Okay, we now move to item 5.10, I understand. Approval of the adoption of the Faculty Association District initial proposal. Now we need a motion and a second.
Move the item.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Bartlett and seconded by Trustee Dack. Let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote, with Student Trustee Shin also voting yes. Okay, we are now to number 6, resolutions. Clerk Prendergast, would you please read the resolutions?
Yes, we have 2 resolutions this evening. Agenda item 6.1, Suicide Prevention Week. Whereas September is known as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, which helps promote resources and awareness around the issues of suicide prevention. It teaches how to help others and how to talk about suicide without increasing the risk of harm. Therefore, be it resolved that the South Orange County Community College District Board of Trustees declare the week of September 6, 2026 through September 12, 2026 as Suicide Prevention Week in the South Orange County Community College District, and that all employees and students raise awareness through various initiatives, events, or programs. May I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
It has been moved by trustee Dack and seconded by trustee Bartlett. Let's vote. Excuse me. The motion carries on a 5-0 with student trustee also voting yes. 6.2.
Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas Hispanic Heritage Week was first designated in 1968 by U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson and expanded by U.S. President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to a 31-day period from September 15th to October 15th to recognize the contributions of Hispanic Americans to American society and culture. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the South Orange County Community College District hereby recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th to October 15th, 2026, and encourages all students, staff, faculty, and members of the public to honor the transformative contributions that have been made to our community. Motion and second, please.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Milchiker and seconded by trustee Dack. Can we vote, please? The motion carries on a 5-0 with student trustee also voting yes. Okay. Number 7, Board of Trustees and the Chancellor. 7.1, SOCCCD Board Member Compensation. Can we have a motion, please?
Second.
It has been moved by trustee Shen and seconded by trustee Dack. Is there discussion?
I will have something to say. I just think that it is important to know that this is a $39 increase. So as you know, we're breaking the bank here on the Board of Trustees. So I just want to say that I do think that for those of us who, I would say, not retired and still working regular job, it is a very welcome compensation for doing a public service here. And I don't think that a lot of elected officials actually are paid enough for the jobs that they do, specifically probably at city councils where it's usually around maybe 1,000 or less for extensive amounts of time that they spend. So proudly we'll be supporting this.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, let's vote. On a 5-0 vote, the motion carries with student trustee also voting yes. 7.2, authorization of payment to trustee absent from a board meeting. Excuse me. Is there a motion?
Move the item.
It has been moved by trustee Bartlett and seconded by trustee Milchiker. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote, please. Okay, the motion carries 5-0 vote with student trustee also voting yes. Okay, number 7.3, authorization of payment to trustee absent from a board meeting. Motion?
Second.
It's moved by trustee Milchiker and seconded by trustee Bartlett. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. The motion carries 5-0 votes. Wait a minute.
I abstained.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't see that. Okay, there's 4-0 with one abstention and student trustee voting yes. Okay. Number 8, presentation. The SOCCCD Equal Employment Opportunity Plan Annual Certification Form 2026-27 and presentation.
Yeah, we have a brief presentation. I'd like to introduce Director Ann Chua. Ann is the Director of EEO Equity and Compliance Programs. She also oversees the HR office on the campus of Irvine Valley College. So thank you, Dr. Hernandez, for giving us space over there. And she's the on-site person should immediate assistance be needed at Irvine Valley College. But she also serves as an important role. She chairs the EEO committee for the district, and she will be giving the presentation. So I'll turn it over to Director Chua.
Thank you. Good evening, trustees, Chancellor Barnes, and my fellow district colleagues. Again, my name is Ann Chua. I'm the Director of EEO Equity and Compliance Programs, and I have the distinct pleasure of presenting to you our EEO certification form. So first, I want to promise that I'm not going to give a 20-minute presentation on state regulations and compliance. It's going to be a 6-minute presentation on state regulation and compliance. But tonight, all kidding aside, is about celebrating our district EO wins and discussing where we're headed to next. So every year, districts across California are required to certify to the state chancellor's office essentially these 4 commitments upholding our EO obligations year to year, right? So what does that actually mean? Well, every year, again, I have the distinct honor of practicing my public speaking skills here with you to share how the district delivered on these 4 commitments. So we annually track and review our applicant and employee data, our longitudinal data. We review that data to inform and update our EO goals. We regularly investigate and address complaints of unlawful discrimination and harassment. And last but not least, we report on how we use our EO funds in alignment with our EO initiatives. And I'm proud to report that we have met all 4 of these requirements, as I've demonstrated in that form. And if the state chancellor's office agrees with me, then we are eligible to receive nearly $139,000 of EO funding to continue our efforts. So let's talk about the data. This has been sort of years in the making, multi-year progress in terms of not just cleaning up our data, organizing it, but also addressing data integrity issues. And I'm really happy to report that we're finally at a place where we're reviewing this on an annual basis in terms of whether or not adverse impact exists in any of the recruitment stages. And what that means is we've successfully, over this past year, have mapped our data to ensure that we're tracking every hiring stage. And so developing that process, I really want to credit my colleagues in helping us get there. But essentially, in terms of next steps, we're trying to develop a data dashboard so that we can essentially automate this reporting so that we don't necessarily have to report it manually on an annual basis, but that this data dashboard could serve as something that the colleges and the leadership could access at their fingertips. So that's currently our next step with respect to our data efforts. So let's talk about what the data is saying, right? So where are we with it? We essentially are evaluating from fall 2023 between fall 2025. And I'm happy to report that the data suggests progress overall, right? Could it be better? Yes, we're making steps towards that. But as you can see from this snapshot, our Hispanic and Latino population, which is a monitored group in our EO plan. Representation for this group has increased across multiple EO categories, especially for our faculty and our executive manager ranks. We are making steps towards improving that for our other monitored groups, for example, our Asian population with respect to these same EO categories. But again, I'm happy to report that overall we are seeing progress longitudinally. So the data tells us where we are, but it's our programs that shows us how we're moving forward. And I really want to highlight these two in particular. We have our Bloom Faculty Internship Program, which is one of our EO hiring recruitment strategies that is intentionally designed to diversify our faculty ranks. And I'm happy to report that we have been trending upward overall. Our spring 2025 cohort showed a record of 60% of our interns being hired successfully here at our district and across other California community colleges. In terms of our more recent cohort, it's spring 2026. So far, I have a reported 40% of interns securing positions across different California community college districts, including our own. So woohoo there. I would also want to personally shout out to our Bloom faculty coordinators, Kalisha Galvin over at IVC. She serves as the IVC faculty coordinator, and former coordinator Efren Rangel over at Saddleback, who's now at IVC. At the same time, I also want to highlight our Excel Leadership Academy, which is our leadership development academy for staff and administrators. We have consistently graduated between 23 and 25 participants for this program, and we continue to receive positive participant feedback with respect to engagement with our speakers and our DEAI-infused curriculum. What that really means, though, is these aren't just any old ordinary workshops with respect to leadership skills. This program has, these workshops specifically they're intentionally curated sessions to develop essentially leadership within our organization, right? As a past participant myself, I can truly attest to the fact that each of these sessions is unique in the sense that every speaker represents not only some type of leadership skill, but in it is we tend to embed not only our core commitments with respect to developing leadership skills, but also our core commitment to inclusion and our culture of care in how we lead. So we're really proud of these two particular programs. So looking ahead, I also want to highlight some of the other EO strategies outside of our hiring and retention strategies. Some of the ones that we've developed over the past year is we periodically update our EO training for our search committees. We implemented a blind resume screening via NeoEd. We continue to standardize DIA-focused interview questions in our recruitment process. And more recently, we've enhanced our job announcements to include our culture of care mission statement. Okay, so you're going to hear from me next semester because looking ahead, we are tasked with myself, like Dr. Viscachill mentioned, we co-chair our EO advisory committee. So for this academic year, we're actually tasked with updating our EO plan for 2026 to 2029. So we will be meeting with the different committee members and governance groups to discuss different strategies that we would want to propose for 2026, 2029, and it'll be informed by our data. So some of the innovative strategies that I want to highlight today that you can probably anticipate for our next plan is we intend to institute or implement a hiring strategy where we can partner with OC Rescue Mission with respect to creating a workforce pathway for our local community and for non-traditional students. Another one that I'm really excited to talk about is how we've piloted and will probably continue to implement our student evaluated teaching demonstrations for second level faculty interviews. And this process ensures that a core component of the hiring process includes feedback from those that matter most, really, right? It's our students. So we will continue to refine that process over time, especially as we continue to include that in our EEO strategy for our EEO plan.
And before you continue, I want to give a shout out to the leadership that Rebecca Beck and IVC brought in bringing forward the student involvement in the teaching demonstration. So thank you for your leadership and incorporating it. And then Saddleback is also taking it on. So we appreciate the fact that we are incorporating a student voice in the full-time faculty hiring process. So thank you, Rebecca.
So she stole my closer. No, just kidding. Essentially, I mean, in closing, I just want to emphasize that this certification form, it really highlights really the past year of accomplishments. But it's always been years in the making in the sense that these aren't things that happen in a vacuum. So to echo what Dr. Viscachilla said, I did want to end this presentation taking the opportunity to thank to thank our college leadership, our college presidents, our senates, because we couldn't have this progress without their unwavering support to have this move forward. A lot of our programs depend on faculty and classified staff. Their collaboration and partnership ensures that we are able to move these programs forward. So thank you for that. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, are there any questions or comments? Bartlett?
Thank you, Madam President. So thank you, Ann, for the presentation. Very insightful and great information. The programs, the Bloom program, for instance, is Bloom an acronym for something?
Yeah, building leadership opportunities through outstanding mentorship.
Ooh.
Okay, great. Thank you. It wasn't defined anywhere. I'm thinking it must stand for something, so thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I should have put it there. Thanks.
Oh, no, it's good. Thank you.
Trustee Prendergast?
Yeah, I'm going to eat some humble pie here, but I remember at last year's Tustin City LRA event, there was a presentation from the Orange County Rescue Mission about their workforce development. So I went straight to the presenter, the coordinator, and said, hey, we really should try and develop a partnership with Saddleback and IVC since we're right there at ATEP and we could do some workforce. He says, yeah, we're talking about that now. And so I'm glad to see it did come to fruition. So I felt like I was being creative and it was already being done.
Let me add to that I'm being interviewed on Thursday from the Orange County Register to highlight our collaboration with the Orange County Rescue Mission.
Good.
There's a workforce development program run by a gentleman named Carlos Robles over there. And not only do they want more of the workforce development, but they want to see what our CTE programs are and how their individuals looking for full-time work can collaborate and understand the programs that we offer. So they are now asking for us to collaborate in more meaningful ways than just the workforce development. And we're very excited to support that community member and do the work that we can to collaborate.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, it's always you have a great idea because they're already doing it.
Yeah. You helped. That was like you were seconding the motion. Any other comments? Okay, so we're now to the consent calendar.
Madam President?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Trustee.
Yeah. Can I just briefly say something?
I didn't
Thank
see
you. Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say how grateful I am as a student of IVC and our district overall that students are actually being evaluated in the teaching demonstration process for hiring full-time faculty. It has been something that ASIVC has been pushing for last year, and I was one of those students who was an ASIVC sender trying to get that to happen. And the fact that it is now here and the fact that it will continue to be here for the years to come is just such great progress and a great collaboration between the current faculty, the hiring committees, and the students. So thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thank you, Trustee Shen.
Any other comments? Okay, so we vote on the presentation?
The form.
Okay. Let's have a motion about that then.
Second?
It's been moved by Trustee Prendergast and seconded by Trustee Bartlett that we accept this presentation.
Thank you.
The motion carries on a 5-0 vote, with student trustee also voting yes. Okay, now we are at the consent calendar. Particularly long one this time. Are there any polls by members of the trustees? No polls? Okay. Then let's vote on the entire.
I'll move the balance.
Thank you. Okay, it's been moved by trustee Dack and seconded by trustee Milchiker. Let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote, with student trustee also voting yes. Okay, number 10, business services. 10.1, SOCCCD Saddleback College Science Math Building Project, change order number 8, Icon West, Inc. Do we have a motion?
Second.
It has been moved by trustee Milchiker and seconded by trustee Prendergast. Is there any discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. So we're now on change order number 8. We're over 7-point-some% of the initial contract value in change orders, coming up to that 10% contingency. I guess wanted to emphasize, I know there are great developers out there, but also keep in mind that, was this a low bid contract by chance?
Yes, it was.
Okay, just to keep in mind, we've seen it on a lot of boards and commissions at the county where you get developers or any entity out there, they get in that super low bid to secure the award of contract, and then they have multiple change orders. Not that this happened here. I mean, the $4.4 million may be all unforeseen types of things that needed to happen. But just to keep in mind with the different contractors over a period of time, if you see a pattern where they secure that low bid to get award of contract, and then they automatically start coming in with a lot of change orders, because we see it everywhere, and you kind of know who those players are in the industry, but just to really emphasize to keep track. Okay.
Okay.
And do we anticipate that we are going to reach that contingency max on this before everything is finished, or, where are
I'm
we on
going
this?
to look to Executive Director Benhani Ephraim. I know we're getting towards the end of this project, but I'm not sure where we are.
So we are getting towards the end of the project. There are a few, I think, unresolved items that we are trying to resolve, but I think we are coming towards the end of finalizing our finances in this project.
Okay, so you don't anticipate then we're going to hit that contingency max? Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Okay, and can you just explain, I mean, $4 million in change orders is substantial when you note the total cost of the contract. Different categories, and I kind of looked at all of the different items relative to the increases, but can you give us kind of an overall explanation, unforeseen things with engineering or architectural, or what happened?
It varies, Trustee Bartlett. If you look at the exhibit with the spreadsheet, it kind of speaks to the different, the breakdown of that change order. It varied from architectural issues, things that weren't caught, unforeseen conditions, items the college requested with respects to AV-IT needs. So it varied with just the whole gamut, if you will. But the goal is to try to close this out as best as we can. As you know, the building is open now.
Yep, and it's a great building. I was just in it the other day for the foundation meeting. It's a very nice building. Okay, great.
Thank you.
That answers my questions. Thank you.
Any other discussion on this item? Seeing none, I believe we have a motion and a second, so I believe we can vote. We have a vote of 4-0 with Trustee Shin voting yes. On to item 10.1, or excuse me, 10.2. Let's see if I can find it on here. 10.2, agreement for College Pass program at Irvine Valley College, amendment to Orange County Transportation Authority. I will call for a motion.
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Prendergast and seconded by Student Trustee Shin. Any discussion on this item? Trustee Bartlett?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice President. I know that OCTA changed the fee structure on this program from a per-student model to a fixed annual fee of a little under $50,000 per academic year. Do we have any idea how many student transports or students that were served under this program?
I mean, I can say it's available to every student that attends IVC, but I'll look to President Hernandez to see if we actually have any participation counts.
I know we do monitor the ridership. I do not have that information, but it looks like our student trustee, I know it was not an issue, it was a level of support that was expressed at your open forum by other students, feeling very thankful that we have this available to students. So if you have a sense, I had looked to see if one of our managers who oversees the program was still in the audience, but she is not. But if we don't have the specific ridership, we can make that available.
Okay, I was just curious because going from per student fee to a flat fixed fee of 50,000, how many students are served, how many transports, what does it amount to? And do we need to go back maybe to OCTA at some point if it's outrageously expensive and look at another fee structure? But without having some of the data, I have nothing to really go on to kind of critique the program. I know it's a very successful program. Providing the transport for students is absolutely critical. Just looking at the cost component and then what we can perhaps negotiate with OCTA depending on what the numbers are. Do we know why they changed from a per student to a fixed fee?
I think Student Trustee Shin wanted to respond, but Vice President Kachaturian is here and he may have some additional information.
Okay.
Dr. Armina Derigishan had to leave early, but she wanted me to pass on the intent to go back to OCTA next year and try to renegotiate the fee. I think the college is intended or interested in renegotiating, and OCTA is interested in renegotiating it as well. I think at this point, just to extend the contract with essentially the same terms, knowing that there is a possibility for renegotiation from both sides. That's what we have right now.
Okay.
And it's
With the intent to go back to OCTA to look at a per student model again, like we had prior to 2025 when the change took place, or to have a lower annual cap on the fee?
I think our intent would be to lower the cost, and it might be one or the other. So we would certainly put it on the table.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I'll recognize Student Trustee Shin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice President. And I just want to first say that this is the OCTA partnership is possibly one of the most successful programs that we have at Irvine Valley College. And when I was a senator for ASIVC, I was a part of the Budget and Finance Committee. And at the end of the year, the $50,000 fee was a highly contested item of debate within the committee, and we ended up voting yes to it because we know that hundreds of students use this, and we see it every day. If you drive into IVC, you can see tens and tens of students piling out of the buses, walking towards IVC, crossing Irvine Center Drive. I hear when I was hosting my student trustee open forums, I had again over 20, 30 students tell me that transportation to IVC was the most important thing and how grateful they were that ASIVC ended up keeping the buses. And this was not just for regular students directly off of high school, but more so adult learners as well who needed the transportation, especially international students as well who can't afford it, or low-income students. And I know it is expensive, but it is so vital, especially to our student body community that we need to have a partnership with OCTA, because quite frankly, they seem to be the only option that can truly give us and give the students what they need to get to and from school. Thank you.
I'll recognize President Inman.
Hi. When we did the conference presentation at the student trustee conference, the first activity we had was a word, what do you call it? A word cloud. And so they all took their phones and pointed them at that wiggly thing. QR code, thank you. And then wrote the thing. And the question was, what is the most important issue facing community college students today? And I was surprised because, the words come up, and by the end, then the middle, dark, large word is the one that was voted on the most time, and it was transportation. And that was, from all of the colleges almost in the whole state. So it's really important.
We will provide specific ridership information to give context to it.
I'll recognize Trustee Prendergast.
So not to seem stupid here, I'm a little confused. So we're approving the ability for this contract to go forward, but it's being paid for by ASIVC's budget. So we're not actually approving them, like we're just approving the contract. So it's not money coming technically out of our budget, it's coming out of ASIVC's budget. So they're the ones that have the primary interest in renegotiating, not necessarily us. Obviously, we would give them every assistance we could, but this isn't something we're spending, it's something they're spending. Yeah, okay, so I'm getting that right.
Any other discussion on this item? Oh, yes, Trustee Shin.
Just wanted to also add, it's the $17 ASIVC representation fee that largely goes into covering the students are essentially paying, as Trustee Prendergast said, for their own rides. It's just that it is free because the school is providing that lump sum amount.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, I think we can vote. On a 5-0 vote with student trustee voting in the affirmative as well, it passes 5-0. And I will hand the gavel back.
Thank you. Okay, 10.3, SOCCCD, Award of Architectural Services Agreement for Greenhouse Biology Horticulture Project at Saddleback College. I don't understand this last part. Oh, I guess it says 1906 architects. Do we have a motion?
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Milchiker and seconded by Trustee Dack. Is there any discussion? Bartlett?
So between the high and low of the total fees, there's about a little under $800,000. Was there an engineer's estimate on this project by chance?
I'm going to look again to Executive Director Madhani Ephraim for the engineer's estimate. I think for the entire project, we've approved $8.7 million as the budget for it. And right now, from that standpoint, we're just now hiring the architect, so we don't really have an engineer on board to give us an estimate for that. So we're just really going out for the architect in order to do the full design and analysis of the project before we can get a proper budget on what we think the project's going to cost.
I know there are multiple components to the project. Just on the architectural component of it, there's $800,000 swing between the high and the low. So I'm just trying to figure out if the little over the 1 million mark for the 1906 architects is reasonable, or is it high, is it low? I know you're looking at qualifications of the teams as well.
I think I would constitute this as reasonable, Trustee Bartlett, but as Anne Marie stated, we will hone in on the actual estimate once we get the architect on board along with the engineers that they bring on board. That's when we truly hone in on the project construction cost and work with the design team to get that number.
Okay, because I know you've ballparked 8.7 million for the total project, and as we move along in the different phases, you've got the architects and you've got the engineers and the construction team, and by the time we go out to bid for each of those, whoever's last, there may not be much left in the 8.7 million if we have really high costs up front. So that's what I'm looking at. Okay, thank you.
Is there
If I
any
had to
other?
guess, I will say next year they'll probably increase the budget for this project. I think that was kind of a low ball, conservative approach to what they thought the budget was in order to request the basic aid funds for the first year. So once they do the planning and programming more so, I think we'll see a request next year when we're doing the basic aid request to increase this budget.
And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if just the architectural component, which is a smaller component of the project, is over $1 million, then the total project cost is likely going to be well over the $8 million mark.
Yes.
Great, thanks. Okay.
Is there any other discussion, comments, questions? Okay, let's vote. The motion carries a 5-0 vote, with student trustee Shin also voting yes. 10.4, SOCCCD, Irvine Valley College and Saddleback College Rising Scholars Network Grant.
Move approval?
Second?
I'm sorry, who was first? Milchiker?
Yeah, Milchiker approved it and.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, it has been moved by trustee Milchiker and seconded by trustee Bartlett. Is there discussion?
I'm glad we're getting this grant.
Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and vote, please. On a 5-0 vote, with trustee Shin voting yes as well, the motion carries. 10.5, SOC Electric Carts for Irvine Valley College, award of bid number 14300-2026, Pape Material Handling. Motion, please. Been moved by trustee Milchiker, seconded by trustee Shin. Is there any discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. So on this item, between the recommended firm and the second firm, there's less than a $50 delta. So in looking at the numbers, and then I looked at the sales tax that they were charging, the recommended firms in the City of Industry, but the sales tax amount they're charging of the $12,000 is about 8%. But according to the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, the sales tax in the City of Industry is 9.75%. So then I looked at that, and then I looked at the second bidder, which is Cart Mart in San Marcos, and looked at the sales tax for San Marcos, which is 8.75%. So then if you look at if you apply those sales tax figures to their bid amount, which was excluding tax, then actually the second place firm is lower in price by $1,574.81. But I didn't know where the $12,000 figure on sales tax came from, because I don't know, that didn't make sense to me looking at the Tax and Fee Administration sales tax numbers. I couldn't find an 8% tax rate anywhere.
So Executive Director Priya Jerome, trying to look at this. Typically, the district pays the sales tax, the 7.75% that's in Orange County where we are. but
Good evening, trustee. That is correct, what Anne Marie just said. On a $159,057.32, 7.7%, which is the tax rate for Irvine and Saddleback is, Mission Viejo, that's the $12,326.94.
Okay, so the sales tax then is based on not the location of the contractor, but it's based
It's the
on
location where-
the
yeah.
actual city where the services are going to be or the contract is?
The city where we receive the goods.
Okay, that makes sense then, because I could not figure out where that $12,000 figure came from. Now that clarifies it. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, let's vote. The motion carries on a 5-0 vote with student trustee also voting yes. We are now to 11, Human Resources. Dr. Visca-Chill.
No changes, but I do have a readout before the board takes action on this item. Position is Director of Athletics. The employee's name is Mr. Brett Franchino. The contract dates July 20th, 2026 to June 30, 2028. Range 18, Step 2, annual salary $174,348. Thank you.
Is there a motion?
I make, so moved, but I have a comment.
Okay.
And I'll
we need-
second.
Okay, great.
Just a second, please. Okay. It's been moved by Milchiker and seconded by trustee Bartlett. Now, trustee Milchiker.
I usually mention people that have successfully served our district for over 10 years that are retiring, and there's two in the academic, in this academic area. Sophia Mamoun is the instructor of health information technology. She served us for 15 years and 4 months. And Susan Miller is an instructor of medical assisting at Saddleback, and she served for 10 years and 8 months. So thank you for your service.
Is there any other discussion? Let's vote. The motion carries, 5 votes yes, 1 abstention, student trustee. Okay. Just a moment. Number 12, educational and technology. Nothing this time.
11.2. And I have no changes on 11.2.
It's classified.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think we made the motion, right? Okay.
I'll move it.
Thank you.
I'll second.
It's been moved by trustee Dack and seconded by trustee Bartlett. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have 4 classified employees to mention. I'm surprised that Scott Brown, senior graphics designer for district services, is retiring, served for 10 years successfully. Susie Bouguet, executive assistant vice president of student services, who served 16 years and 8 months. Ann Mayers, senior accounting specialist, district services for 10 months. And Vanny Pham, library assistant, served for Saddleback College for 32 years and 6 months. So thanks for that great service. Thanks.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Okay, let's vote on this, please. The motion carries on a 5-0 yes. Motion carries. Okay, 13 information items. These are just to be read only. 12.1, SOC Retiree Trust Fund. 13.2, SOC Pension Stabilization Trust Fund. 13.3, Quarterly Investment Report. 13.4, Basic Aid Report. 13.5, Legal Fees Report. 13.6, Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College speakers. Okay, we now have some written oral reports from our leaders. Let's start with Chancellor Barnes.
All right, I think there's some congratulations in order, so I want to join in my congratulations to the POA for 50 years of beautiful, excellent service. Thank you so much for all your service. Really appreciate it. And this beautiful challenge coin. Thank you. And then also congratulations to both college presidents for some successful opening sessions. As always, President Hernandez, you have a lovely kickoff to the year. And then, of course, Dr. Cordova, your very first inaugural event was fantastic. We learned a lot about you, and I know there was a lot of folks that were really pleased with the outcome there. And then finally, I just want to say congratulations to both colleges. And I always think of Britney Spears. Oops, you did it again. You're in, you're in the top, in the state and nation again. And as Trustee Bartlett pointed out, when you learn about the intricacies and the innovation and the care and the love, both in and out of the classroom, there's so many wonderful things happening across the district. And it doesn't just feel good, it is good. And it's producing great outcomes. And that's why our students, our colleges are ranked top, because we put students first, and we have to do both in and out of the classroom to make sure that they're supported and that they achieve their goals. So thank you, and happy fall. How exciting. We're in the beginning of a new academic year. So have a great semester.
Okay, Irvine Valley College President, Dr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Board President Inman. I know Classified Senate President Brianna Bell alluded to this in her report, but I do want to also extend my thanks because one of our traditions every semester is welcoming returning and especially new students through our welcome booths at 4 key campus locations. And it's not just an opportunity to greet and welcome students, but to answer questions, connect them with important campus resources, and they get to grab a snack and some bottled water. And despite it being honestly one of the hottest weeks of the summer that week, we had over 87 employees who signed up to staff the booths 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Thursday and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Friday. And throughout the week, we actually served 5,200 individuals. So I want to thank all of our dedicated employees for demonstrating through both word and deed what it means to be a caring campus. And then lastly, I realize it is in my written report, but I wanted to elevate it. It's a big deal, I think, for us because it's our first registered apprenticeship program. And in partnership with the Training and Research Foundation and Orange County Pathways, this semester we are launching our Early Childhood Education Registered Apprenticeship Program. And it's an innovative 2-year earn and learn program that in essence combines paid employment with academic instruction, allowing apprenticeships in work-paid positions while completing approximately 2,000 hours of work-based learning. Students also complete 24 units in early childhood education at no cost and receive workplace mentoring and college support. And again, it's another example of how we're continuing our commitment to expanding innovative workforce pathways. Thank you.
Saddleback President, Dr. Lanita Cordova.
Good evening, board members, Chancellor Barnes, community members. Excited to I'm here for 2 months now, so we've been really busy. We had our foundation retreat, and I want to just give a big thanks to Liz McCann and her team for putting together just a really meaningful retreat. Thank you to the VPs as well. I want to echo what Trustee Bartlett said. They really came in and showcased what we do at Saddleback. I want to echo my colleague, John, and just thank everybody that was out at the welcome tables. It was just amazing to see everyone out there giving out water, snacks, smiles. It was really hot. We rode around in the golf carts just to say thank you to everybody that day. So it was a really good time. The energy was up. And then finally, last night I got to do the coin toss or not last night, but Saturday night for the Pasadena Saddleback game, and we won 19-11. So I want to thank Dean Klaus and Brett Franchino just for the warm welcome and, highlighting again the cake in the quad for, Saddleback's ranking in the state and the nation. I feel like I really am, I won the World Cup. So thank you to everybody for the warm welcome.
Saddleback President, we did that. Vice Chancellor McDonald.
No report.
Okay. Vice Chancellor Viscachill.
No report.
Vice Chancellor Gable.
Yeah, so hopefully everybody paid attention to the picture in Chancellor Barnes's board report where when we had our summer executive council, most of us went on a hike after lunch, but we had Vice Chancellor Viscachill who decided to go fishing. So we had to Photoshop her picture into our picture so she wouldn't feel left out.
I want to reclaim my time. I was on a hearing representing the district when the rest of my colleagues went on a walk. So someone decided to Photoshop a picture of me when I was fly fishing in Montana. And I believe that same Photoshop was used to put me in some dinner that you all went to as trustees. And so I guess that's the new thing, Photoshopping me in a fish. So it's none of it is HR approved. I just want to state that for the record.
They didn't want you to feel left out. Okay, I guess that would be it. Well, we got a lot done. It was a lot to do. So now we get to adjourn. Thank you.
Great that you
I have to look at that picture.